The movie begins with a girl screaming in the middle of the night. She has been having trouble sleeping and thinks that a monster is under her bed. This little girl is Aurora. Aurora's parents rush to her room to figure out what is going on, and Aurora explains that something is under her bed. She warns her parents not to step on the floor, saying the monster will eat them. Fed up with her shenanigans, her parents tell her to go to sleep and leave the room. Ruled by fear, Aurora decides to sleep outside on the balcony that night, and as she spots a shooting star, she quietly makes a wish. Seconds later, she hears a noise coming from downstairs. She spots a mysterious man walking down the street at night, and this piques Aurora's interest. The main reason for this interest is that a firefly is following this man, the same firefly that came to Aurora after she made her secret wish. The next day, Aurora follows the firefly to a mailbox, and as she is about to leave, she finds the same man going through his mail at the mailbox where the firefly was. Afterward, she joins the man in the elevator, taking glances at him. They both get to the 5th floor and go to their separate rooms, showing that they are neighbors. That same night, Aurora sneaks out of her room through the balcony and quietly follows the man as he walks down the street. She hides under a dumpster when a man turns around to check if anyone is following him. Afterward, he continues on his way and heads into Chinatown, unaware that a little girl has been tailing him all this while. The man turns a corner and is suddenly surrounded by men wearing masks and dragon costumes. A fight begins, and we learn that this mysterious man is a hitman sent to take care of business. Meanwhile, to Aurora and her imagination, she sees a man fighting and slaying a dragon. After taking care of the men, the mysterious man simply walks back home to his apartment, and Aurora follows behind, convinced she has seen some kind of superhero. At home, Aurora gets lost in thought and fear as she spots a dust bunny in her room while her parents talk to her. Her parents eventually tuck her into bed, and her dad tries his best not to make his daughter worry so much. After saying their goodnights, Aurora turns to sleep but starts hearing creaking noises as though the floor would tear open and swallow her. She covers herself with her blanket, and seconds later Aurora hears her parents screaming. Soon after, the screams disappear. When morning comes, Aurora checks the whole apartment but can't find her parents. She feeds herself and sits at the building entrance all day waiting for them, but to no success. She eventually goes back inside and rides her piggy toy, being careful not to touch the floor. She gets to her room and climbs around until she reaches her bed. Unfortunately, one of her shoes falls on the floor, and when she tries to pick it up, the floor suddenly moves. The monster makes a hole, picks a fruit, and spits out the seed, which breaks the lantern bulb. Aurora thinks of escaping and decides to throw her blanket on the floor, but the bunny sucks it in quickly. Sensing that someone might be in the house, the monster makes a move. Aurora tries to escape, but because the monster is moving the bed, escaping becomes impossible. With no other choice, Aurora holds onto her bed and keeps quiet while the monster sniffs around the room. After finding nothing, the monster settles back into the floor. The next morning, Aurora wakes up tucked into her bed, with her shoes neatly placed beside her. She wonders how she got out of her clothes and into sleepwear, and just as she begins to doubt herself, she looks at her lantern and finds the light bulb broken. Later at church, Aurora sits at the edge as people give their offerings. When her turn comes, she takes the offering and runs out of the church with a smile. She then uses the money to try to hire her neighbor, the mysterious man. The man asks where she got the money, and Aurora confesses she robbed the church. She explains that she needs the man's help killing the monster that ate her parents, adding that the monster lives under her bed. Puzzled, the man asks Aurora why she thinks he kills monsters, and Aurora confesses she saw him slay a dragon in Chinatown. The man thinks Aurora has an overactive imagination but decides to play along. He explains that monsters have a reason to kill their victims and asks why the monster ate her parents. Aurora responds that her parents walked on the floor, which is why they were eaten. With no other choice, the man decides to inspect the house, but when he doesn't find any trace of blood, he questions Aurora about it. The little girl simply responds that the monster swallowed her parents whole. The man finds a bullet on the floor and a mark on the wardrobe. He asks if her parents own a gun or if she heard gunshots, but she has no idea. After looking around, they return to his apartment. The man asks why Aurora hasn't gone to the police, and she responds that they wouldn't believe her. After some back and forth, the man sends the girl home, telling her not to touch the floor so she won't get eaten by the monster. Later, the man heads to an underground bar where he meets a woman named Laverne. He presents IDs belonging to Aurora's parents and asks if she knows who they are. He explains that they are missing and that Aurora, their daughter, thinks a monster ate them. Laverne finds the story amusing and asks what the man thinks really happened. The man explains that he believes some assassins, aka monsters, came to take him out but went to the wrong apartment. When the parents saw them, the assassins had no choice but to kill them, and since Aurora didn't see anything, they let her live. Laverne asks how he knows Aurora didn't see the monsters, and the man responds that Aurora told him so. Laverne points out that Aurora also knows the man kills people and tells him that Aurora must be eliminated. The man refuses, saying the girl's parents are dead because of him, and now it's his responsibility to find and eliminate the killers. Laverne leaves him to the job and promises to look into Aurora's parents. That night, as Aurora prepares to sleep, the man runs into her room and tells her to hide in the wardrobe, warning that the monsters are coming. He climbs the wall and prepares to ambush the assassins. Seconds later, a woman in a red coat enters through Aurora's window and immediately unloads bullets onto the bed. When she checks, she finds it empty. Meanwhile, the man and a second assassin get into a fight, choking each other until they both lose consciousness. Back to Aurora, the woman in the red coat opens the wardrobe and finds a stuffed teddy inside. She pulls it away and finds Aurora breathing heavily with fear. The woman feels bad for Aurora, but since the girl has seen her face, she decides Aurora must be eliminated. As she prepares to shoot, the monster emerges from under the bed, and we hear the woman screaming as the monster devours her. The man runs into the room to check on Aurora, and finding her safe, asks if anyone entered her room. Aurora says yes, but explains the monster already got the assassin. The man thinks Aurora is making things up and asks why the monster isn't attacking him while he's on the floor. Aurora responds that the monster is still eating. With no other choice, the man carries Aurora to his room and returns to double-check the apartment. Finding no trace of the assassin, he prepares to clean up and dispose of the second one. The man prepares to dismember the assassin, and Aurora suggests leaving him in her room so the monster can eat him. The man asks if Aurora has ever been to a butcher, and she says she has. He explains he plans to do to the assassin what a butcher does to cows and pigs. He sends Aurora into another room and begins working. By morning, the man finishes and asks Aurora to help clean up, which she happily does. During their work, Aurora brings up monsters again. Having had enough, the man explains that monsters don't exist and tells Aurora the truth. Her parents were killed by assassins meant for him. He explains that he didn't slay a dragon, but fought bad men. Aurora refuses to believe him, and their argument is interrupted by a knock on the door. The man opens the door and finds Brenda, who claims to be from Child and Parent Services. She says Aurora's parents had scheduled a meeting that day. Noticing Brenda doesn't know what Aurora's parents look like, the man pretends to be Aurora's foster father and attempts to reschedule. Brenda warns that postponing appointments won't look good on record and says that, as Aurora's third caseworker, she must keep notes. The man pretends to be ill and promises to follow up before sending her away. After closing the door, the man notes that Brenda isn't from Child Services, and Brenda realizes the man isn't Aurora's foster father. Inside, the man asks what happened to Aurora's first and second parents, and she replies that the monster ate them all. Still skeptical, the man tries to reason scientifically and asks where the monster came from. Aurora explains that she wished for it, just as she wished for the man to kill it. When asked why she wished for it, Aurora admits she wanted the monster to eat her parents because they weren't very nice to her. She also believes the monster wants to eat her because she is wicked. The man comforts her, telling her she isn't wicked and shouldn't blame herself. Later, the man goes to a location carrying 2 bags and meets Laverne. He tells her the big bag contains the assassin's body parts and the smaller bag contains the little girl's. Laverne is pleased and says eliminating the girl was necessary. She then admits she sent the assassins not for the man, but for Aurora, since she was a witness. When Laverne asks about the second assassin, the man says he only found one. Pressed further, he admits Aurora claimed the monster ate the other. Suddenly, Aurora enters the building. She is hurt and betrayed, realizing the man planned to leave her behind. Unbeknownst to him, Aurora has grown attached to him. Laverne insists Aurora must be eliminated, but afterward the man takes Aurora to a Chinese restaurant. There Aurora asks him to be her new dad. He refuses, saying it would be dangerous because many people want to kill him. Aurora isn't concerned. She says she wished for him and won't let him go. Their argument continues until a stranger approaches their table and asks if the man is Aurora's father. Aurora says yes. The stranger calmly asks the man to step outside for a talk, but the man declines, recognizing him as a killer. Instead, he says he'll meet him after finishing his meal. Later, they return home, followed by the stranger and his crew. The man calls Beatrice, who arrives and listens as he explains everything. He admits he isn't Aurora's foster father, only a concerned neighbor, and shows Beatrice the men waiting outside. Beatrice, revealed to be an FBI agent, calls her team to watch the suspects. A knock comes at the door, and the man finds Laverne waiting. He walks her to the elevator and explains his plan to let Beatrice eliminate the assassins while he poses as an ordinary neighbor. Laverne protests and urges him to kill Aurora and run, but the man refuses. He sends Laverne away and returns to the apartment. Inside, Beatrice confesses that she works for the FBI and mentions that they have been following the case of Aurora's missing parents. The man acts surprised, and after a brief chat, he takes her to see Aurora. Aurora warns them not to touch the floor, saying the monster will come. She screams, and eventually the two adults listen to her. The man tells Aurora to hide and goes out with Beatrice, unaware that the floor is moving. They head toward the door after hearing the doorbell, but before they can open it, the door is blasted open, and Beatrice is hit in the process, knocking her unconscious. The man quickly takes Beatrice's gun and shoots the killers, managing to eliminate one. He drags Beatrice into the bathroom and searches her body for more weapons, but she regains consciousness and asks for her gun back. They prepare to move out, but the man peeks into Aurora's room to make sure she is safe. Suddenly, he sees the floor move and hears a growling noise. He immediately climbs onto something and tells Beatrice to do the same, and she does. Outside the apartment, the killers get into a shootout with other FBI agents, and they eventually make their way inside once they get the chance. They check the rooms and arrive at Aurora's room, where she warns them not to touch the floor. Still trying to make sense of the warning, the monster bunny emerges from the floor and attacks the men. They scream and shoot as the bunny feasts on them. The monster tosses one of the killers into the bathroom, and the man finishes him off. When everything settles, the man pushes the dead killer out and watches in horror as the monster swallows the body whole, shocking both him and Beatrice and causing them to finally believe the little girl. Afterward, when things seem calm, the other FBI agents enter the apartment and arrest the remaining killers, who are clinging to the walls. The killers cooperate easily and beg the agents to take them out of the house quickly, with Beatrice urging them on. Suddenly, the monster closes the door and devours everyone, both the agents and the killers, leaving only Aurora and the man. The man eventually emerges from the bathroom and makes his way to Aurora, confessing that he now believes her. He suggests escaping through the balcony, but just as he prepares to jump, the monster emerges and swallows him. Aurora cries and sadly remarks that she told him so. Seconds later, the monster spits the man out, revealing that he used some kind of irritant while inside the monster's belly. As they hug each other, Laverne enters the building in a rage. Fed up with Aurora's drama, she intends to finish the little girl off herself. She threatens and mocks Aurora and her imaginary monster while Aurora and the man beg her not to step on the floor, with the man even calling Laverne Mom. The monster soon appears, and in a panic, Laverne begins shooting, but the monster overpowers her and eats her whole. The monster then advances toward Aurora and the man as they try to escape. Just as it is about to eat the man again, Aurora steps between them, causing the monster to back off, sniff her, and jump around. The man realizes the monster isn't there to kill Aurora, but to protect her, and he tells Aurora to accept her monster. Afterward, the duo leave the apartment and ride off into the sunrise while the monster follows closely beneath them. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more interesting movies like this. See you in the next one.